If you are tired of being a prisoner to your fears and thoughts of what if I fail? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I screw up? Today, I am sharing 3 specific ways you can turn that fear energy into productive action. Taking the steps to get to the place you want to be next year, this time. What's good? What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Candia, your personal hype woman, helping you confidently show up at work and in life despite dealing with fear, uncertainty, or self doubt. Oftentimes, when people express a desire to get over their fears and do something new, I hear other people give them this popular advice. They'll say, remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. And I don't know about you, but that acronym breakdown never sat right in my spirit. Because instead of trying to ignore the fear, the reality is you can learn a lot from it. Sometimes fear is your GPS to where you need to grow in life. Don't get mad, get strategic. You get strategic by embracing the fact that fear can also stand for another acronym. Face it, explore it, accept it, or reject it. I had a fear of showing up on video. Now here I am talking to you. Loving video as a means for me to do meaningful work. Part of the work that I get paid to do is showing up on camera to train and coach leaders how to speak with confidence and how to lead others when it comes to giving constructive feedback, delegating, directing, motivating, all the things. So here's the thing. Many times it's about facing your fear and exploring it to see what it can gift you. Some of us are not taking action because we're waiting for the fear or your thoughts to go away. The problem isn't that you are having these thoughts and fears. The problem is you are allowing them to stop you. Negative thoughts are absolutely normal. I make up words around here. Don't judge me. So, to turn that fear energy into productive action, the very first tip I want to share with you is for every what if thought that you have, challenge it with what do I have the power to do right now? Oftentimes, when we are looking to step outside of our comfort zones, we go down this what if rabbit hole and you dig a hole so deep for yourself that it paralyzes you from taking action. Ask me how I know. But anywho, you might be saying to yourself, what if people don't like my ideas? What if no one likes my video? What if I disappoint my kids? And typically when this happens, you create a story around something that may or may not be true, something that may or may not occur. And so you have to train your mind to reel back into the present and get focused on what you can control. For many of us, our minds stay stuck either in the past or in the future. The reality is both are out of our control. You cannot control outcomes. You can only control your effort in the present moment. So when you challenge your what if thoughts with what do I have the power to do right now, it puts you back in the driver's seat. It gets you to that place you want to be next year this time. And then you're putting your fears in the trunk, okay? Story time. No matter how many times I've delivered workshops, I can't escape this one crazy incident that happened to me maybe 8 years ago. I may have a little PTSD, y'all. I don't know. Bear with me. Anywho, I was giving a presentation to about 60 people, and my PowerPoint slides wouldn't display. I was sweating up under my armpits, thinking this was the end of my career, all the things. It was a summit or conference or something. And so we didn't have time to figure out the technical difficulties. I needed to continue on with my presentation because there were people scheduled to speak after me. Fast forward, even today, the night before a workshop or the morning of, what if thoughts like what if my slides don't display? What if I forget my key messages are running rampant through my mind? So my ritual for challenging my what if thoughts is now actually my to-do list for confidently showing up and making success happen for myself. And it also helps to ease my mind. So here's how it works. Take out a sheet of paper, put a line down the middle of the paper, and on the one side of the paper, you can include your what if thoughts. On the other side of the paper, you're going to include your what do I have the power to do right now thoughts. Then I ask myself, what's the one small step that will contribute to the results I desire? I emphasize small step. That's because baby steps count too. Taking baby steps give you the momentum you need to create motivation. Here's another mindset shift for you. We often wait to feel motivated to take action. And the reality is the action creates the feeling. Even when you go to the gym after 5 days of exercising, you start looking in the mirror, you're like, oh, okay, I'm slimming down, I'm feeling good. I'm on my way to being 20 pounds lighter. Let me treat myself to the happy hour. Okay, pause. That's me. That's me treating myself to happy hour and pizza and wine and all the things after 5 days. Anywho, the action creates the belief. So to prepare for my workshops during the week, I create this list and I say to myself, Candia, you know what? If your slides don't display, you can send a copy of your presentation to the client. You can upload a backup copy of your presentation to Google Drive. That way you can access it from anywhere. And sometimes I get a little old school, okay? I have index cards on me, and it's only about 5 to 10 index cards with my key messages listed on them in case I lose my train of thought. But the crazy thing is, those tactics are really just to ease my mind because that's never happened again. Not saying it won't happen again. But my point is, when you find your mind wandering down that rabbit hole of negativity, that simple shift from what if to what do I have the power to do right now can help you focus on what are the things that you absolutely have control over. Now, let me warn you, confidence is not a fixed emotion. Oftentimes, you're going to say to yourself, what's wrong with me? I was on top of the world. Yesterday, I was in beast mode, being productive, doing all the things. And now today, I'm feeling like a slacker. I'm not feeling good enough. I'm feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. That's because confidence isn't a fixed emotion. So you have to create and embrace a daily ritual that includes practices or techniques that allow you to confidently show up and speak up. You got to ritualize that confident energy. Oh, if you need help ritualizing this process, I want to invite you to join my free training, 5 Days to Unstoppable Confidence, where you'll learn a technique in 2 minutes or less that will help you show up and speak up more confidently at work. I'll include the link in the show notes. The second tip for turning your fear energy into productive action is to embrace the 5-to-1 magic ratio. So the last tip, challenging your what if stories with what do I have the power to do right now, was about focusing on the present moment. The 5-to-1 magic ratio is about exploring the gifts of transformation you will experience as a result of facing and exploring that fear. The 5-to-1 ratio is also important because our brains are wired with a negativity bias, which means we have a tendency to automatically focus on the negatives. So, to apply the 5-to-1 ratio, here's a sentence prompt for you. On the other side of my fear, now you're going to fill in the blank with verbs. So it might be, on the other side of my fear is an opportunity to learn, explore, meet, experience, improve, reduce, do something new. And so when you begin to list these 5 or more positive ways, you're actually talking yourself into the positives or the benefits of exploring that situation. You're low key hyping yourself up to take the next best action. Now, I know some of y'all are going to get caught up in the word best because I've had my clients say to me, Candia, how do I know what's best? My response is always, the word best is temporary. What's best this year won't be best next year. The word best is subjective. What's best for you right now may not be best for you next week, and that's okay. Imperfect action beats inaction every single time. Now, when it comes to practicing the 5-to-1 magic ratio or challenging your what if thoughts, you'll need to keep repeating this process and reminding yourself baby steps count too. Your goal here is not to eliminate all negative thinking. The goal is to replace these thoughts with thoughts that serve you better, actions that will allow you to show up and speak up in life. Interestingly enough, I came across this concept of the 5-to-1 ratio a few years ago. It's by Dr. John Gottman. And so the 5-to-1 concept suggests that for a relationship to be healthy and successful, there should be 5 positive interactions for every negative one. For me, I believe that the 5-to-1 ratio can also be tweaked a bit to address having a better relationship with yourself and dealing with those negative thoughts or experiences or moving past those negative experiences. Because here's the thing, the best relationship that you'll ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. When it comes to navigating the ups and downs of life, it's you versus you all day, every day. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Success at anything you desire in your life comes down to learning how to have a better conversation with yourself. We are often taught to seek things outside of ourselves to get better or feel better. We're often taught to learn how to have better relationships with others, your kids, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, colleagues. You can't do that effectively if you don't have a better relationship with yourself. The third tip that I want to share with you is to learn how to affirm yourself. Affirming yourself involves consciously choosing words, thoughts, and attitudes that promote self-acceptance and self-compassion. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I used to have a problem with affirmations. I didn't believe in them because I used to say to myself, okay, so you're going to say I am beautiful and then you walk away still feeling ugly. You're going to say I'm smart and then you walk away still feeling dumb. What I know now is affirming yourself creates energy. Saying things out loud to yourself about yourself, it energizes you into action. Affirming yourself creates energy. Affirmations need to be a part of a larger process. And so one powerful mindset shift for me is adding a question to the end of that affirmation statement. So I may say to myself, Candia, I am only responsible for my effort, not the outcomes. What's my next best action? I may say to myself, Candia, I am worthy of growing and learning from this space. What's the lesson? What might I be missing? What have I learned? Chances are the number one reason why you're stuck in fear is because you want to know with absolute certainty that this thing is going to work out for you. You want to know with absolute certainty that you're on the right path. And the reality is certainty is the enemy of growth. Shout out to Mark Manson for that quote, because you cannot control outcomes. You can only control your effort in the present moment. So you have to learn how to train your mind to get focused on what you can control. Doubt doesn't mean don't. You have to learn how to have better conversations with yourself. One of the most powerful mindset shifts that I've learned is that self-doubt is a choice. The same energy that you give to a negative thought, you can give to a positive thought. So, which one of these techniques resonated most in your spirit? Remember, you got to ritualize that confident energy, and your girl is here to help make success happen for you.